So I know there's some people worried about that first assignment, and I know there's some people who are not happy with their levels. So what I've done is I've gone into week 2, and down here at the bottom, you'll see it says map shapes to build your level layout. Each one of these is just the shape. If it fits with your idea, your story, your whatever, then utilize this shape, because the smaller, especially with the amount of blueprint that I'm throwing at you, the better. Okay. If you are like, oh my God, I love this level that I did in Game Design 1, cool, but you may still have to scale it down. All right. So for the portfolio, the final piece that you're supposed to take to portfolio, you really need to look at that and think through it. If you want me to help, I'm so good with it, but I wanted to just show you that I've just put some shapes in here. Always also thinking about the things that I'm showing you this semester, right? We've got doors, we've got enemies, we've got coins we need to pick up. You can use a teleporter or a platform for your final. So I'm just kind of thinking about that. So take a minute, scroll through these, and I'm not saying you got to do a rounded shape or this arched shape. It is an influence to the shape of your level if you feel like you need to reshape. Okay. So what you have to do is get something that is interesting to look at and awesome to play. So we've got the awesome to play. You'll have your own game elements in here based off what I show you. But you know, where is your battle area? I don't know. This looks like a solid piece, but what if it's not? What if it's an area that this is you have to crawl through to get into an open space, right? This really is up to your imagination. But I was just looking at spaces that fit with what I'm asking you to do, and then decorate, right? Because coming out of this class with a level that is black and white or still in white box is a no-no, right? So if I'm asking you to then go in and populate it and put stuff in there, it's got to be small enough so that you are not overwhelmed, period. Okay, so that is here for y'all to look at. Today, we're going to go over counting coins. It's probably the simplest. No, none of this is simple. I'm trying to figure out where to start. I think I want to start by looking at the door. We'll bounce around and come back to keys because it's a little more in depth. But I did want to show you a few things. Everybody good? Hi, hello. I hope y'all had a good break yesterday. Sign off in chat so I know everybody's here. Y'all good? I see you, but I just want to make sure y'all are good. Hello. All right, awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome.
Hi.
Hello. Chilling like a villain, literally, because it's cold outside. Carl, you can't hear me? Can everybody hear me okay? Um, all right. Okay. All right. So the first thing I think last week I was in the empty level, and one of the things I said was that I would clear out my level and come back. And so everything that I do is in this level that I had created. And so from now on, this is the only level I'm going to work in because I'm not trying to do all that extra work. So as you start to figure out your level, figure out the scale, definitely look at it. Now, I did want to. There was a question about doing snowcap stuff. And I have these little charcoal pieces that are like supposed to be lava pieces. But if I was to pull some of these out here, these are huge, right? But if you wanted to um, build some things and kind of have a space encased within something big like this is the way I would encase a space so that you block it off, right? So I'll take this and rotate it. And this is probably a really good way to, deal with your resources as opposed to trying to do landscape, right? I don't think these items have a whole lot of collision on them, but we could go put collision on it. But this would be how I built that. Who was that asking me a question? I recognize the voice. Let me see. About the snow caps. Bryant, that was you? Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That was
Did
me.
you see how I just did that?
Yes.
That is what I would do. I would just build and block off whatever I needed, just like this, and call it a day because you're gonna spend more time and more resources on the landscape, okay?
Mm. Okay.
And I think I can share this. The thing that you won't have though, you probably have to find a texture, go into the textures and change it to fit your level. You get what I'm saying with the snow? So that's what I would do. All right, so I took my door from last week and I scaled it way up. And so let me hit play right quick. Let me first save because I did some stuff. Yeah. Y'all see I got a blueprint compile error. So last week, I think I don't even know what that's on, but I'll have to figure it out. But there's the door that we did last week. I'll worry about that other blueprint level error somewhere else. But what I wanted to do is go into this door. I don't think I showed this last week. And go into the blueprint and really look at what we did. So right now we're rotating on the Z. Um, but what if I wanted to do something else? So let's do this. And again, this is just for you to see, okay? I'm gonna go back to the Z. Oh, I need to go see what's going on in my level. It's gonna be something old. So do y'all see the difference? So let me do it here as well. And then I'll do a new one. So compile and save. And until I figure out what that error is on, I'm gonna keep getting that. So we'll just ignore it for the moment. All right. So those are all of the rotations, and I'm just going to disconnect this. And I'm going to leave the arrow because we know that it's based off the arrow and come out of here. And instead of set relative rotation, we're going to set relative uh, location and on the arrow. So let me do this. I'll leave this guy because I'm going to go back to this. All right, so I'm going to split the strut here. And so we're going to keep our multiply and we will do this one on X this time. And hopefully this will give you some ideas about what type of door you want because you're not confined to a rotating door. And that one's not moving at, oh, I see. That's interesting. That might be what broke. Hold on, I don't even have sound on this, so give me a second. Let's do this. Get rid of that audio. That wasn't there. Okay, so the popping, let's talk about it. The popping is because the arrow is up here. So as much as and put the door back in there and let's see if that fixed it. I'm not trying to break my blueprint because that's a whole lot of work I don't want to have to deal with. So in essence, we would have to set it up correctly the first time. Let's see what it does. Yeah, it didn't pop. So that one slides it back. And then again, I just want to go through all of the axes so you can see what it does. And because I'm recording it, that's another great reason to do it. So we're in the Y this time. Uh, okay, hopefully Carl keep me posted. Oh, wait. Oh, please. All right. It doesn't matter. It depends on what you want to do. Right? So that's why I'm showing you. I don't want to rotate on the y-axis, but maybe you do. See, there's a sliding door. That's why this is what I'm showing you is important, because it's just showing you the different types of doors that you can do. Yeah. So we'll do the last one on the Z. And again, this is the location, not the rotation. So let's do this. I think this one will go either up or down. And it also depends on the number too. And I'll show you that in just 1 second. There it is. So this one's going down. And it only went as far as the arrow. So this is where the number matters. So if I do negative 270 and we stay on the Z axis, we'll see how far down it goes. All right, let's see how far down it goes. So it goes all the way down. But then if we go back and we make it a positive number, file and save, it should lift up, right? So if you want to go the opposite way, just change your number from positive or negative. So let's see what it does. Okay, so if you're in a spaceship and you want the doors to slide, I just wanted you to be able to see that, okay? So again, that one was set relative location. I'm going to get rid of that. Put what I had back here. I don't have a sound for my door, but if I did want to play my door, this is where I would do it. And I would try to get and we'll do it later. I'll try to get the audio or the door sound, the door movement and the sound the same amount of time. So if the sound clip that I want is 3 seconds, I would or 7 seconds, I would make sure that the door movement is 7 seconds in that timeline. So we'll come back and do that. That's in the beautifying of things. Right now, I just want you to have a door that's functional. So we'll leave that there. What we'll do is we're going to come back shortly and work on the keys to the doors, but because it's going to take a lot of extra work, I don't want to confuse you, so I want to go do something else pretty easy, and that way when we get ready to focus on the door, we'll stay on the door. Okay, let me stop and see if there are any questions. No? Okay, I'm so good. I'm monitoring the chat, so if you see something, just let me know, okay? So I want to let me get my light on. I want to go over counting coins. Let's say you want the player to search around and get a certain number of coins. So let's do that. And I've got y'all know me, like I always take my notes first. So if you need to take your notes and watch and then go from there, okay? So this takes place in the game mode. So where you're going to find that is in your third person, in your blueprint. and it's going to be right here in your game mode. So most of the code we're going to do is going to start right here. So I'm just going to double click, and if you get all of this, just go right here, open full blueprint editor, and we're going to be in the event graph. And what we're going to do is right click and say event begin play. So when we start to play, here's the state machine. We're going to get the actors of a class. The class is the class of the coin, right? So we're going to get the blueprint class for the coin, and we're going to see a length. We're going to figure out how many coins there are. Now, the way we're going to do this, you don't have to manually do it. The only thing you need to do is figure out how many coins you want in your level, duplicate it, and place them where you want them to place them. And then we're going to create two variables from that, how many remaining, how many total, and then we're going to print a string that tells us how many we have in the level. So I'm going to do it, but I want you to always hear what the state machine of this thing is. So I'm going to pull out of here, and we're going to get actor of class. Come back to that in a second. And we're going to pull out of return value, and we're going to say length, how many. Get play messages. That is not the right one. Nope, got to get the right one. So that's good to see. So it is a math function, so it should be this one. Yep. Let's make sure. Nope. Because if we get the wrong length, it's not going to be right. All right, when in doubt, I don't know if y'all saw that, but a whole lot of things popped up. So if you can't find something, always uncheck context sensitivity. And now we still have to figure out which one is the right one. It is a number, and I should have looked at this a little bit. May have to play with it for a second. I don't think it's a vector. No, sorry. It's going to be an integer length. Let me just figure out which one. Again, this is that get the right one. Oh, that's one I got earlier. The YouTube videos don't mess up like this, so I'd rather mess up here and you see how I fix it. So we'll be all right. It's not a vector. It is a, I think it's an array either, but I think it will be. All right, we're going to make it an array for the moment. I'm going to end up going back and looking at that. Let me pause and look at it right quick, okay? I'm going to pause the recording too, so you're not sitting here bored. Anybody with resume? Here we go. Okay, y'all see my one up here? Did y'all see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get some more and let's verify that number, because then we're going to add it to a widget. So we'll just get boop and 3, 4, and 5. All right, so I'm going to save. So our number should be up here. It should say 5. All right. Yay. First part of the code is working. All right. On to the next. So that is the game mode. The next thing we need to do is create a widget. So I'm going to stay here in my blueprint. I'm going to right click and go to user interface and go to widget blueprint. And we're going to do user widget, making sure I'm recording here. And I'll post this up as well. And we'll call it, okay, WB_coin widget. Now, what you name it is important, because I'm so good at forgetting. I'm like, what'd I do? I could have called it collective, but I didn't. So, so here's what we need to do. We need to get a canvas panel and drag it down. And then we need to get a text panel and put it under the canvas panel. And then we'll select the block and we'll size it to the widget. We'll anchor it in the center. I want it top center. And then let's see what else we need to do. We need to, I'm just double clicking the scale. The size of the font is going to be up to you. Let's see, text block, we're going to say X of Y coins collected. I can't spell. There we go. My favorite thing to not be able to do. And I'm just going to move this right here and we'll send it up top. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Let's see, font size. Let's just do it to, oh, that's too big. All right, that's good for now, so we can test. All right, I'm going to compile and save, and then save all. So the next thing we want to do is we want to bind the X and the Y so that this changes as we pick up the coins. All right, so we're going to go to binding here, right here, create a binding, and we're going to pull this out. And we're going to, from the get text, we're going to cast to the game mode. So let me just disconnect and we'll cast to game mode. And it should be this game mode, but because I feel like there's going to be a whole lot of errors today, may need to be BP. So cast to BP underscore third person. Y'all see the difference? Yes, chime in for me so I make sure y'all are with me.
You mean in the third person game mode now?
Yeah, as opposed to just game mode. I'm
Yeah.
just making sure, pointing out the obvious, but still. The object will be to get the game mode, get game mode. There it is. And then out of here, we're going to, this is as the third person game mode, we're going to call to those variables that we made. So get remaining. Again, can't spell. Get remaining. And then we also need to get the total. Because those are over in that function, we can graph them, okay? So now we need to subtract. So this one is kind of important because it won't be right if you don't get it right. So just a simple subtract. Later on, we're going to do a decrement, which is going to be minus minus. This one is just the minus, so make sure you get it right. The total, and maybe this is the better way to do it. So the total is going to go up top. The remaining is going to go on the bottom. And then we're going to do a text to integer. And let's see. We need to do a text to integer for the total as well. So we can print it. That's all that is. Now, if you highlight I don't know if y'all are aware, but if you highlight this, you can double click and make a node. So you can just clean up your code a little bit. So it's easier to see. Because sometimes these colors will start to, they'll merge onto each other. So just like if you're doing regular coding, clean code is good. Let's do a format text. So format text. This is what's going to help everything print on the screen. So in the format text, you have to do curly braces, X, curly braces. And I'm going to do a space, the divider space, and then curly braces, capital Y, curly braces. and then do collected. And then we have an X and we have a Y. So the total, verifying that my total is coming from down here, is going to be my X. I'm verifying, and it should actually be my Y. Yeah. Total here. If not, we know how to go update it, right? And then we're going to make that the output. And I'll know in a minute if I've got that confused, it's okay. And then I'll connect it. So let's look at the code again. And of course, I will put a screenshot on iCollege. So we're going to get the text for the numbers. We're going to cast to the game mode where we added those variables. And then we're going to do some subtraction so we know what we have, and then we'll output it. Okay, so let's go try it and see what happens. We still have our 5 up top, but if I got it wrong, we know how to fix it. And we may not see anything because there's nothing that's going to be printed on the screen. Yeah, there's nothing. Oh, that's going to be an error. I can't hear my audio. That might be the error that we have. All right, let's keep going so that we can actually see this thing. Let's see. Let me go back to let me go back to my widget here. So I went to the event graph. I was in the get text. This is the binding. So I had to go back to the event graph. And I want to delete everything but the construct. So this one, the event tick goes bye-bye. There's my construct. This is my pre. I want just this one. And what we'll do is we'll do a delay. This delay, and I'm just giving you all the code now, and then we'll go put it on the screen, is for how long it'll stay on the screen. So I'm going to do it for 3 seconds. And then we will remove from the parent. The parent is the main screen, okay? So we'll remove from parent. And that is all we need here. So now we have to go actually draw it. So we've got a bunch of stuff. I'm going to leave this open just in case I have the binding incorrect, so I can see. So again, flipping over notes. So now we need to go into the coin and do some stuff. So we'll double click on the coin. And this is what we already have set up. So on the coin, we have our collision. We have the casting to the third person character. And so we need to enable an input. Well, we don't have an input yet, so let's go do that. Have y'all ever done the inputs before or no?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, all
No.
right. All right, cool beans. Blueprints. Actually, I need to go back and I'm going to keep this with my code. So I'm going to right click and do input and input action. And I probably do need to move it. But I don't see it. Let me see. Where'd it go? There they are. All right, I'm going to put it here. I just found my inputs. I'll go delete the one that I just made. So this is how you do your mouse and your keyboard inputs. We'll be back over here in IMC default in a minute, but the actions are what we want to do. So you move action, WSD, mouse look, all of that fun stuff. So we're going to create a new one. I'm going to right click and input, and we'll do input action. And I'm going to do IA for input action underscore what are we calling it? We're gonna call it what are we gonna call it? Pickup. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna double click and go inside, and you know it needs to be saved because it has the star. I don't think we need to do anything here. It's gonna stay default, but let's save it. And then we're gonna go up a level and go into the IMC default. All right, so over here is where you do your mappings. This is where you tell it what number, what letter, what keyboard, what controller you want to do. So we'll just hit the plus sign here and we'll choose the one we just created, pick up, and we'll expand it. And I'm just going to put it on F. Yeah, F, and then I'm going to save it. And that's all you have to do. So most of the code is going to go back over in the coin. So we tell the coin what to do when F is hit. Okay. So we'll have to go here and we're going to update our old code. All right. So let's do this. Let's get rid of these. I don't delete anything. I usually just move it. And if I hit C, I can add a comment. And I can just say sound and delete actor. So I know what I did, right? What this was for. And then if I just select the comment, it'll just move the whole group. So I can just do that. So just FYI. So out of here, I'm going to do enable input. And we're going to get the player controller. We're just going to pull out of here, get player controller. And then what we're going to do is select these two guys, copy and paste, because we want to do this when we're not overlapping. So we'll need to come over to our sphere and right click and do the event of when we end overlap. So we've got a begin overlap and an end overlap. All right. And we're going to go ahead and connect this and connect the other actor object. And then we'll also connect, let me just move this one, the get player controller here. All right. Double checking my notes, compile and save. I don't have any errors. I'm so good. This is the last part because when we hit enable input, what does it do, right? So now we need to right click and we'll go get that pickup that we just created. Make sure that it is red. Sorry. Let's see, and expand. And we don't want on triggered, we want on started. We're going to cast to the third person game mode, cast to third person game mode. We will get the game mode again. All right, this is where we do the decrement. So every time we hit F, we need to decrease the number remaining. Okay, so this is where we now again get remaining. That's the variable. And we're going to also get total. So let me do this. I'm trying to do it slowly because we need to do it twice. So I'm going to get this again. Now pull it down here. So I got to do two different things to it. No, I'm jumping ahead. I'll wait. Let me wait. All right, so this is going to be the decrement. So there's your double dashes. And we're going to come out of here and go into here. And then we're going to set remaining. So we'll come out and instead of getting it, we're going to set it to the new number. Yeah, no, like that. And what I may have to do is just type from, there it is. Okay, again, I had to check that, uncheck that context bar for me to get what I needed. So we'll do that. So we cast to the game mode, we see what the number is, we decrease it, and then now we're setting the new number to whatever this number was after we decreased it. So that's basically what we did. And then we're going to create the widget. This is when we actually draw the widget on the screen. Earlier, when I was trying to do it, I totally forgot we got to draw it. So this is when we'll now grab it of class WB underscore coin widget. And then we will add to the viewport. That's a lot of steps, y'all. Add to the viewport. We've got to add this to the target. And then we do, before we did this earlier. So we should now be able to, and like I said, I'm not going to delete anything. I'm going to copy this and paste it and use it down here. So we'll have the sound and we'll have, that we can destroy the actor. So I'm just going to choose one of those coin sounds. I don't know which one it is. Compile. Let's see what's going on. There's a target that I'm missing. Oh, all right. Yes, this is good. So I'm going to drag this over to the target. And then we'll clean it up. And then I'll compile again. Love my notes, compile, save, we're good to go. We will know if I messed up or not because we'll see it on the screen. So here we go. All right, we still have our 5. Let's see what we do. So look at that collision. So I've got an issue. Ooh, that's bad. Let's see what's going on. Pass to the third person game mode. I think that's the error. Let me see. It didn't like that at all. Third person character, nope. Code looks right. Other actor, other actor. I'm just making sure I didn't mess up, y'all. Y'all know me, I'm so good at doing that. It's okay. Just double checking everything. It's gonna be something super simple as usual. So this is the widget that's not trying. I have a collision issue and I have a widget issue. All right. Yep. Other actor, other actor. If I have to come back to this and do an update, I will. I'm not gonna stay here all day, if it doesn't work, because I got other stuff to show, so. It came, if somebody sees it, speak up. I don't have a problem with, y'all speaking up, not at all. Create the widget. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take these off and go back to double check and see if I can destroy the actor. Let me see if I can debug this. Oh, y'all know what? I just figured out what it was. Hold please. I'm in the coin. So what input did I set? Do y'all remember what I said? I set a key, not a walkover. So the collision is doing what it's supposed to do. I'm supposed to hit F. So when you're off, you're off. I was off. So let me see if my input works. Right? I should have collision. Oh my gosh. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Just when I think I'm doing it wrong, I'm doing it right. And so, all right. So here's something. All right. All right. So, goodness, I'm my own worst enemy some days. All right. Okay. So that works. I will make sure that I make a note to all. Make sure you get your input. I will also post all of these because that's quite a bit, and nothing that we do today is going to get any easier. So let me pause. I do want to come back because when we come over here to the IA pickup, there's an opportunity to do something other than destroy the actor. So we may want to like have the key show or open a door or something to that effect. So let's make sure we have this working, and then you can further add gameplay. Okay. So let me pause because my brain is like, I need a minute. Oh my gosh. Okay. Everybody good? Nobody's overwhelmed.
Yep,
Okay.
a little bit, but we got the recording.
You got the recording. Yeah, I was trying not to get overwhelmed. I was trying not to get frustrated, but I was like, I got this. I got this. I got this. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay. Notes to the side. Let's do something else. All right. We got the door direction. We already did that. I don't want to do that yet. I would like to now do the keys in the doors. And I would like to take my time with this. It's not going to take the whole class period, I can tell you that, but yeah. All right, so there's a few components to the keys and the doors. The purpose of this is to be able to have two of the same door or create one blueprint for a door and then have another blueprint for a door. And this door will work, but not this door, if that makes sense. And I'm just going to work small right down here, okay? So we can see. So let's work between these two doors and let's create a blueprint for a key. So I'm going to keep it simple. We'll stay with our cubes, but anything could be a key card, a regular key, some type of, I don't know, you can make a rock a key. So key is a relative term. So we're going to right click and we're going to create a blueprint and we're going to make another actor and we're going to call it BP_key. Before I do anything else, I need to make two additional things, and hold on while I flip my note because we need some interfaces. If y'all don't have a notebook, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. I need my notebook all the time because I'm like, what did I do last time? Y'all don't do that? Or y'all just,
I got a notepad here, but I don't be writing it down now.
yeah, no, I have to write it down and then I have to go back and look at it. All right, here we go. Yep, I like it. So, all right. So the way this works is there's one key with two interfaces. We'll implement both the interfaces in the door so that the door knows when it can be interacted with. Okay, so feels like a lot to say. I don't know why everything feels like it's a lot today, but it is. So we're going to do a blueprint and we're going to do a blueprint interface. And the first one's going to be called door interact. So BPI for blueprint interface, door interact. Okay, making sure I can spell too. The second one is going to be key interact. So right click again, blueprint interface, BPI, key interact. Now, the purpose of these is so that they know how to work with each other and separately, okay? So we're going to go inside of the, which one do I want to do first? I would like to go inside of the door interact. It's really simple, door interact. And the only thing we need to set here is the question. It's a Boolean. Do you have the key? So it'll be has key and a question mark. And we're going to end up calling that later. So we'll hit enter and we'll save. And that's all we have to do here. Compile and save. So then we'll go into the key interact and we'll do the same thing. And it'll be called, there's a function called key interact. So we'll do that here. And there's nothing down at the bottom. We do that, at a later time. Again, I'm always trying to build up on the skill, even though right now we're in the deep end of the pool. So we have those two things. We have our key. We need to create a key. Let's go create a key. So we'll double click and the key will be a simple, let's do a cube. And we will scale it down. Let me do it this way. Make it small. And then it'll be our fake key card. And I might have to scale it down some more. And let's give it a texture of some sort. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna leave it now. It looks like it's water. Let's not do water. I am not creative today. I just feel like everything's gonna be either green or I don't know, we'll do this. All right, that'll work. So we'll compile and save, and of course this needs some collision. So the collision box will be another box collision, but it probably needs to be pretty big, way bigger than this. And I might end up scaling the key card down when we're in the level. The reason why this is so big is we want to make sure that we're interacting with it. Okay, so it is quite large. I'm going to go with it. We all know that I can edit it later, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. All right. So we are going to now still working in the key. We're going to start creating some variables. So because I have, let me frame this up correctly or better for y'all, because I have this door is BP door. So when I create the variable, it is not like an integer or a vector. It's going to be of type BP door. So we'll just create a variable here. We'll call it door. And instead of it being a Boolean, we'll come here and search BP underscore door. All right, so that's our type. Compile and save. Now in here, we need to do the key interact. So we need to go to class settings. And over here in the interfaces, this is where we add the two that we just created. The one we want to add right now is the key interface. So we'll click add, we'll type in key interact, and we'll click that, and we will compile and save. All right, so what's next? I just started talking and my throat is killing me. All right, so over here in the event graph, we want to go here to interfaces. So over here under my blueprint where you see your variables, and we want to right click and we want to implement the event. The event on the inside of this is the question as to do we have the key. That is the function. That's what we named the function within. I'm trying to be very, very clear right now. Okay. So in the BPI key interact, we have this function called key interact. There's nothing here, no directions. So that's where we're going to go set up. Okay. So again, let me come down here and fix this. We want to implement the event and tell it what to do. So it's key interact All right, here comes a really big, really big explanation. All right, so we need this, which is what we set up in the door interact. Do you all recall that? Here, you just open it. Y'all see that? We need this so that we can send a message to the door as to whether or not we have the key. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Whew. Explaining it is like, just do it. No. Uh, but I'm pointing this out because there's a lot of things that are coming that will have this message, and I just want to make sure that you understand where it's coming from. You can implement this stuff all day, but if you don't understand what you're doing, you'll never be able to like do something else that you're like, ooh, wouldn't it be cool if, because you won't know why you're doing it. So I don't know. So what's checking to see if it has the door? The target is going to be this door. So I'm just going to drag it over. I could have pulled it out and said get reference to. I could have pulled from here, but I know we can drop it on top. So if we have the key and we're at the door says yes, then we're going to destroy the key. Okay. That felt like a lot. Don't ask me why. Compile and save. Okay. So what did we do? We implemented an interface. It's here to tell the key how to interact, and we created a variable to make sure that it's of type door. If you have multiple types of doors in your space, just make sure you have the right blueprint for the door so it knows what variable type it is. We also, because of the interface, we created an event around that interface. Everybody chime in on the chat and say, you got that. Okay, and this is where my notes come in because I forgot to do something. This is why I look at my notes. All right, so with the door selected, this is so important. All right, perfect. With the door selected, and yes, I will have a picture reminding you to do this. We need to make sure that we can edit this, and we need to make sure that it exposes on spawn. Okay, these two things are very important. So I'm just double checking on my notes because otherwise I would be sitting here getting frustrated, and that's not what I want for y'all. All right, so let's go work on the door. I'll leave this open so we can see. So we're gonna go work on the door. The door should stay the same except for we need to we need to implement the interface. Both of those interfaces. So, yep. So we're gonna go to the class settings. Now we should all have code for door, right? This is door we created last week. So class settings, again, we're gonna come here. It says no interfaces. Don't get lost. You got class defaults. You've got class settings. You're gonna see class settings later, probably next week. So we'll be here again. So we're gonna interface we're going to implement the interface. And this time I'm just gonna type in BPI. And we want to implement the door interact, and we want to implement the key. All right, so we've got two. We're going to compile and save. And let's see, we've got components, we've got interfaces. And so now we do need a Boolean variable. Let me verify. We need a Boolean variable that asks if we have the key. So let's set that up. And the way I type it is kind of important because it should not look like this. So, and even though I'm saying it as a question, I'm saying it like that because it's a Boolean. So I'm going to type in has the key. All right, and leave it as a Boolean. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm very clear about how I'm doing it and why I'm doing it. Okay. All right. So with the door, we're going to replace some things in just a second. We need to execute the event for the the key and the door. So this key interact is going to tell it what to do. And we're going to steal this code up here. All right. So make sure before you try to do this that you have your previous assignment done. And I'll zoom in a minute. So on the key interact, right click and implement the event. And let me go ahead and get the other one. I'm going to do the has key, right click and implement the event so that we know we have two events we have to consider. We'll do the hard one first. So this one is, we need a branch that's gonna check to see what the condition is. So I'm gonna hold down B and click, left click, and that creates a branch. And then I'm gonna grab our variable that we just created that has the key. And that is the condition in which this will execute if we have the key. So the next thing we need to do is if we do have the key, we have a flip-flop, right? And then the flip-flop says if it's A, then do this. If it's B, then do this. All right. And this is where I'm going to disconnect these so they don't fire off anymore. And I'm going to grab my code here, copy and paste. And let me make this larger so y'all can see everything. And so if it is true, if it's A, then we're going to play. And if it's B, we're going to reverse. And I'm going to double check right now. Oh, that number is so wrong. That's from when we were moving it up and down. Put up my -90 back in. All right, so I do want to change this from multiplication to a linear interpolation. All right, it runs smoother. So I'm going to come out of here and do alert LERP. Not L, I don't know what I just typed. Here we go. So this runs a lot smoother. And it interpolates between the numbers that I give it. Let's not do it to A. We're going to do it to the alpha, which is going to go between A and B. And then I'm going to put this back in my Z. And if it's wrong, I'll come back and fix it. All right. I'm going to cross my fingers on that code. Yeah. Okay, that looks right. Still targeting my arrow. All right, so let's go back over this code again. So when we have the key, we're checking the condition. Do we have the key? If it's true, we're either going to play or reverse. This is the same as us walking in and out of that collision box, okay? And then it's going to linear interpolate between 0 and -90, specifically for my case on the Z. Again, if it's not right, this is the number that I would tweak, okay? Then if it has the key, we need to set this variable. So usually when you pull over, you can get it or you can set it. We want to know what the condition is. So currently the Boolean, I think this is true. So now we want to check it and we're going to do this. Yeah. All right. We have the key. I think it's when it's unchecked, it's false. So let's see what this one says. Yeah, so unchecked is false, checked is true. So if this changes the condition and we have it, then this will be checked to true, okay? That was a lot, and we're not done. Everybody good for now?
So far, so good, I think.
All right. Okay, here we go. So now we have to pick up the key. And instead of doing the input action, we're just going to say hit E. So we're going to go over to the blueprint for the third person character this time. And we are eventually going to spend a lot of time over here editing this code. We're not going to mess with any of this stuff. So I go way down here because I don't want to get any of that confused with what the system has. So, yeah. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to double check my notes just to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, we exposed the key, we destroyed the key, we did all of that. We got the branch. And then do. All right. Yep. All right. So what we're gonna do is right click and I just typed in keyboard. I could probably just hit E. No, let's do keyboard. And I'm just gonna scroll down until I see what I want. And so this is like the E to interact. We're gonna be here again soon with the chests. So this code is gonna be something that you can repeat, but if you don't change certain things, you're not going to be a happy camper. So it's really important that we get this and get it right. Okay. So me trying to explain it prior to showing it is a lot. So let me just kind of walk you through it as I do it. For any coders, you'll recognize this one. It's for each loop with the break. So anytime you do something and stop, we're going to execute this function. All right, there is going to be an array. This is why the box around the key is so large, because for anything that we are overlapping, so we're going to pull out of the array and it will say get overlapping actors. The overlapping actor here will be of type actor. Now, this is also good for if you want to set up a database of different things that can be interacted with. I might show y'all that because you will not find any tutorials. That's what I literally just wrote a tutorial on, and it was a doozy. So I'm just mentioning it for later. But if you have like this game and you want people to walk up and put things in the inventory, it's a great way to set things up. And nobody's talking about it. You either do it separately or you do it together. The next part is I'm going to go ahead and set up a branch. So we'll hit B here and I'll connect it to the looping body. There is a condition, but we have to come out of, let's not come out of it. Let's do it by itself. And the question is, does the object implement an interface? So does object implement an interface? We just implemented two interfaces. So the answer here will be yes, that is the condition. And the target will be what, and the what comes out of the array for anything that we're overlapping. So that's how that works. The interface that we care about is the key interact interface. Remember, we have a door and we have a key. So here we'll do the BPI. This one is specific to the key. And then we need, and this is why I mentioned earlier about the message, okay, the key messages. So K, there it is. We need this message. Please make sure it says message. All right, you're gonna come out of true. And then the target is going to go all the way back to the items out of the array. So we'll clean this up with our little node and do another one down here. And this is so important. And I know for you guys, so you can see what we're connecting to. And then all of this circles back around and does it all over again. That's what a for loop is. It'll do it. There's a break. It'll do it. It's checking. It's checking. It's checking. So that's what a loop does. And so until the condition is met, it's going to keep checking. And so maybe I can get my node here. Maybe, maybe not. Here we go. All right. So when I press E, it's going to check and see if the item that I'm overlapping, I'm stepping inside of a collision box, is implementing specifically the key interact interface. And then it's going to say yes, and then it'll do the code that we put on the key interact. Pausing for breath. Anybody have questions? And this is the code. This code. that's in the door. Okay, everybody good? Oh, that's great, Ola. So how does this mess work? Let me show you. So I'm gonna go back and get my key. And my key's probably gonna be super big. Yeah, and it's on fire. I like it. All right. So the reason why, let me show you this. The reason why we selected this door and we did this stuff right here was so that when we have the key selected, we can hit this eyedropper and tell it which door to open. Okay? I want to go back in my door because I want to make sure I don't have anything that will activate this door when I walk up on it. So the way I error check my debug, okay, cool beans. My debug is always, and I'll move this over here, to make sure that nothing works with these doors. All right, so we're going to come here, I'm going to hit yes. And my big old glowy key, my tiny, tiny doors. All right, so my door does not open. I hit E, my door does not open. My door does not open. I hit E, my door does not open. All right, so with the key selected, make sure I select it. I'm going to get this eyedropper and I'm going to tell it to open the left side door. And I'm going to make sure, and I'm always going to do the eyedropper. I'm not going to sit here and do no drop down because if I have 12 million doors, I'm just lazy like that. Let me get to the door and tell the key which one I want it to use. So I'm going to file save. I'm going to do it again, double check, error check, because now I've done something significant. I literally selected the door, but I won't pick up the key yet. I just want to come here, hit E, nothing, hit E, nothing. Now I'm going to check my key. When I hit this, does it delete? Yes. Does it open this door? No. Crossing my fingers. Keys and doors.
Let's go.
Listen, keys and doors, okay? Keys and doors. It is literally that ain't simple. I'd be lying. It is literally that simple with these 4 things. So it's so important to follow the pictures, even if you don't. And let me show y'all what I'm following. These are my notes. I already got this ready for y'all. So when I activate, and it's so big, I got it big. But these are my notes. And this is the stuff that I would suggest you to screenshot, you download, and you keep it forever, especially for anybody going into or already in capstone or pipeline or whatever. Yeah, it's definitely going to be in iCollege. I'm going to turn this on. And then I'm circling things to pay attention to. Do y'all see that? Over here, I'm circling things because if you miss those things, you're either going to go gray or you're going to start to pull your hair out. And I don't want that for y'all. Okay. So let me pause to take another breath and get a cough drop. How about that? Y'all good?
Yeah, these notes are good. I like them.
Listen, you should see the notebook I'm looking at. It's all handwritten. So that's why I had to start taking the screenshots because I'm like, what? Okay. There was something I wanted to try. It was just a thought. There was something I wanted to try. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to figure it out. I don't know if I want to try it here, but basically what I wanted to do is when you gather all the keys, all the coins, the key exposes itself. So I know we can set the visibility, but I don't know if I can set it. Oh, I didn't even name my collision. So I'm just kind of thinking it through. I may not want to embarrass myself because I'm not thinking it through correctly right now, but let me see what happens. Yeah, no.
Can you disable it in viewport and then enable it?
No, because it's a blueprint. because it's its own blueprint and on the inside. The only thing to do is to go through the level blueprint, but I've done it before. I just need to figure it out. But that just came to mind. So I was like, maybe it's a good idea. That's another gameplay element, right? Okay, so I'll probably have some screenshots up on later today, if not tomorrow. But the goal is, and this is why I set this level up like this. Oh, please, this is bothering me that this guy's so big. The goal is to have a metahuman here, convi character, who tells me some content about some kind of context about the level. Hey, you need to go get a key before you go in here. But in order to get a key, you got to go get this many coins. And then, it may spawn an enemy, and then the enemy will, drop a key, and then you can open a door. Y'all see what I mean? You should always be thinking about state machines. You got to do this to go do that, to do that. And I think we do that as gamers all the time. So that's kind of what we're building now. And so I will probably have this figured out by later today. I want to keep going with the chests right now. And then if I get it, when I get it, I'll just post a screenshot. And you'll already have some context as to what I was trying to do. So, all right. Let's make a chest folder. I do have some, and y'all can download these just to kind of play along. Give me 1 second so I can show you. Well, they're at the bottom of the page. The 2 chests that I'm going to use. There's one that is already animated. They're here. There's one that's already animated and one that is not. And it's important to go through both ways because they're different. And also because you may find a chest that you really love, because mine are pretty default, which is fine. You may find a chest that you really love, and that way you'll know how to, animate it, make it work kind of thing. There it is. Okay. Give me a second. Let me find my folders. So I'm gonna go up a level and make a folder for chests. And I need to delete this input action because we didn't use it. And in here, I'm gonna do chest 1 and chest 2. So I'm just making folders so I can stay organized. And you will definitely want to do this because when we get to enemies, we're going to do the enemies 3 different ways, again, for the purpose of showing you so that you can build up on it. And you may need simpler enemies as opposed to always having something that's super, I don't know, that is always doing something, right? You just need to make sure that the enemies are following you. Some may follow, some may patrol, some may not even do that. So I just want you to see all the ways. Okay, so I'm literally just going to drag the stuff. I'm not changing anything. I'm just going to hit import. All right, so there's the mesh. And then I'm going to go up a level, 2 levels, and go into chest 2. And these are from the folders. And we just import them in. Like I said, these are the default chests. And I just want you to be able to rock along with me. So go into my notes, of course. All right. So the chests are going to do the exact same thing in the chest. When you think about the chest, just think about the chest as a door. And what we're going to do is make the lid rotate, and then we will do the same thing with the E to interact in the 3rd person character. So we will right click and make a blueprint for the chest. So blueprint, actor, and we'll call it BP. And this is actually chest 02. I'm just going backwards because this one's, I don't know if it's easier. No, it's not easy. We do hard first. That's okay. All right. So we need for the chest. What do we need? Let me look at my other notes. Just two types. All right. Yeah. So we need an interface. I'm gonna go back up and do, I think, just one interface. And we'll call it, what do we call it? Interaction. Yeah, let's do one interface. I'm verifying something, sorry. You know, I'm always gonna verify stuff. All right, so we're gonna right click, blueprint interface, call it BPI interaction. And in here, we're going to, sorry, let me click, and we're gonna call it, interact. Interact. And I believe that it is, it should be, we should do two. Yeah. Let's do CO2. Anybody want some carbon? Never mind. All right, I'm gonna compile and save. And the first thing I'm gonna do is go into Chest02, into the blueprint, and I'm going to go into my class settings and implement that interface. So BPI, did I name it wrong? I did. No, I named it interaction. There's my CO2. All right, very good. So I haven't done anything yet, but I'm going to do it now. Dun, dun, dun. So I have two parts. I have the lid and I have the base. And the thing to look for here is the pivot point. Because we cannot change the pivot point in here, we need to always be mindful of it. So I'm going to add a static mesh. And I'm going to call this base. And then I'm going to add another static mesh. And I'm going to call this top. Now, one should not be nested up under the other. They should be on the same level, like that. And I will add the collision box in a minute. So let's get the meshes in here. Again, y'all know I'm lazy. So with the base selected, I'm going to just frame this up so that I can pull the bottom in here. And then with the top selected, I'm going to pull the top in here, the lid. All right. The mesh texture does not matter to me right now. I'm always going to be one that cares about functionality and then beauty, not vice versa. So I'm going to move this back and try my best to align it. And you can do all of the going in the side and doing that fun stuff, but I'm just going to eyeball it. And what's good about this model is it came like this. So if you found a model that you really loved and you needed to change the pivot point, you need to do it in Blender, Maya, whatever you need to, okay? So let's go up a little bit and turn that snap off. All right, so that is the thing. It's the thing. So let's put collision around the thing. So we're gonna do box, and I'll check chat in a minute, okay? Definitely want to make this box large. Let's see if I made it too large. I did. Because you want your character to be in it. So later we'll go and put the E in the widget so that when you step in the box, it pops up for the E to interact. Okay, we'll do that later. So let's move this up and compile and save. And now we're going to go and give it some stuff to do. So pull that out here and I want to save all. Please make sure you save often because I don't want you to do a lot of blueprint and because you're going to get pissy if you do blueprint and then it all goes away. because you weren't paying attention or you just forgot or assumed that the autosave was going to work. Please don't do that. Oh my gosh, please don't do that. Okay, so we need a variable here that that is a Boolean. We're going to do something very similar to what we just did with the door and the key. Okay, so this should not take us long to do at all. So we're going to come down here and we're going to ask, are you open? I think that's all we need. I don't think we need another one. Yeah, it's a Boolean. And so we need to implement this interface. So we'll do an event on interaction chest 02. And we'll do our branch just like we did with the door. And we'll bring the open condition. I'm glad we did the door because now this should be familiar, right? We will do a timeline. Make sure you have the right timeline. It's going to be the one that's sitting alone all by itself. Add timeline. And we'll call this chest top. And then we'll go inside and we'll create a track. It'll be a float track. I just automatically set 2 keys. It doesn't, I don't care where they are until I set them. And this will be a, I guess, 3-second. I will name the track. Let's see. Let's right click and rename. I'll just name it top, or let's name it lid. All right, so I'll select this, just box select, and I want to change the time. So at 0, it's at 0. And then here, it might be a really slow opening. I'll do it anyway. At 3, it will be at 1. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see. Again, we've done this before. That's all we need to do. So I'm going to compile and save just to make sure I have everything. And I'm going to close my timeline. All right. So what we need to do next is we're going to set the rotation. So let's do on true. Instead of just doing a play, we'll do a play from start. I'm also going to copy this. Let's wait. Let's get the whole string and then we can paste it once. So out of here, we're going to get the relative rotation, sorry. So set relative rotation on the top. Probably should have been consistent and said lid, but that's okay. I think y'all know what I'm doing. We're going to split the strut. So we have access to all of these. And then what we need to do is like select the top and rotate it. I want it to rotate up, right? So when I rotate, I'm rotating on the X. And we're going to go all the way to negative, probably 90. Yeah, I like negative 100. Let's do that. So we'll come back over here. And that was on the X. And so I'm going to do the multiply. So we'll drag down and multiply. We're going negative 100, sorry. Habit is to do negative 90. We'll do it on the X. So now we can get all of this. Copy, paste. Love that. And if it's false, then play on start. I don't think I need to check anything else. Let me double check. Nope. But what we do need to do is set the condition. All right. So one of them, if it's open, then open it. If it's open, then do nothing. That's basically what we're setting. All right. So I'm going to get a set here. Remember, if it's already here, if it's not checked, it's false. And we'll copy and paste, and this one will be true. All right, compile and save. So there's the code. The next thing we want to do is, let me see, what am I missing? I'm looking at these notes because I did something and I don't know why I did that. I took it out. but I'm not worried about it. If it breaks, we'll fix it. All right, we're going to go back over to the player. And remember, I mentioned you could copy that code, this code. So this is a great time to do, I'm going to copy and paste and move it, but I want to comment what this is. So let's see, and this is key to interact with door when key is picked up. I guess that works. All right. So that is for that. This one, and sometimes this is the way you have to do it. You may have to delete this, but look, we have a node, so it's not that hard. I've had to delete this before, and I've had to delete this. Okay, so don't freak out. All is well in the universe. The rest of the code, I am going to go ahead and compile and save so that it knows that it's fresh code that I'm doing, okay? So I'm going to start over here at the array, and the array this time will be get overlapping actors, but we will put, instead of just actor, it will be specific to the blueprint of that chest. So we'll do get overlapping actors, and we will put BP underscore chest. All right. And then here we have the, does the object implement an interface? Does object? Yep, it does. So we'll put the target in here, and then we'll do the BPI interaction. And I probably needed to name that better because we have two chests that we're going to do. We put that there. And then on true, we're going to get the message. So that'll be the interact O2 message. That'll be our target. And this will be our loop. And we'll compile and save and make sure we're good to go. All right, so everybody see that that was very similar to the other one. We'll go ahead and hit C and comment it. Interact with chest O2 not animated. Okay. Compile and save. And let's go try it out. And I do want to make sure, even though I don't know that the key stayed where it was, but I want to make sure that my E to interact is still working, right? So E to interact, and I don't know what the correct direction of this is. So that's E. Yeah, so see how it did that? I don't want it to do that. That might be why I disconnected. So let's go back to the chest. And honestly, if it's open, it's just open, right? That means most of the time we leave those things open. Isn't that right?
I mean, you could have it close when they leave the volume.
Yeah, but I'm lazy.
Yeah, I feel that.
So I got to figure out the best pathway, because if I have it, let me just and I want y'all to see what I'm doing because sometimes the videos and sometimes the pictures just don't tell you enough, so you got to be able to play with it. All right. Yeah, that's the one I want. So basically what this said is if it's false, then open it, right? Then play the animation to open it and then set it to true. That it has been opened. Y'all see that? So this is if I want it to keep going back and forth. Now, I believe that I could do this. But usually if you play something like Final Fantasy, once you open a chest, you open a chest. It's done. Yes, you can use your own assets for sure. If you are working through this for the assignment, I would use these because you know they work, and there's, you know they work. Yeah, I don't like that at all. So I'm just going to disconnect this. I wouldn't even do this. We know we can copy it, but this is actually what I want y'all to do. So I'll update the picture, and because we know it works. So compile and save, and then let's go back and look at it one more time. But the point is, again, to be able to do it 2 different ways so that you know how to do it depending on your asset. All right. So there is a second one, and I noticed that there's something I am missing. So let me go get it. And I don't know if I need to just create it fresh, but y'all know I'm lazy, so hopefully I'm gonna pause the video too, so y'all don't have to wait to do this. This one's pretty simple. So we're going to we need another interface. So let's create another interface. BPI interface. We'll call it BPI interaction 2. That's confusing. Interact. Let's just do that. And then inside, we'll do the interact CO1. Okay. So still familiar. Hopefully nobody's lost. You will have the video. Let's create a blueprint. Blueprint class, actor, BP underscore chest 01. And then we'll go ahead and immediately do the interface, because I am notorious for forgetting the interfaces. And then like, what happened? Why won't it work? So this one is interact. Please do better than me, because this naming convention is terrible. Okay. All right. So let's see. I would like to now compile and save. All right. We need to get a skeletal component, skeletal mesh this time. Chest mesh. And we want to, let's see, what is it called? Make sure I get the right thing. So that is the one with the skeletal mesh. All right, so I guess I could have put the texture on it. I'm not worried about it at the moment. Compile and save. Of course, we also need the box collision. So really 2 components on this. I'm on the same level. And we need this to be really big. Let's just do it this way. All right, so we're going to do the exact same thing in the player that we did before, so we'll be able to copy and paste. We need to implement the event here. So we'll go to the event graph, and we'll right-click and implement the event. And the only thing we need to tell this one to do is to play animation, chest mesh, that is correct. And we're going to, the target is that, and there should be a, we'll just do the open here. Yep. That is it. So if you can find an animated chest, there you go. Otherwise you copy and paste. So we're going to go back into the 3rd person character. We will do the exact same thing we just did with the other chest. So I'm going to collapse a bunch of this, copy, and put the items in that we need. Now, there's an assumption that all you have to do is just replace this. I've had nothing but errors when just simply trying to change the message and all that other fun stuff. So I just walked through the process one more time, same 3 things. This is chest 1, and this one is animated. And I'm going to compile and save prior to doing anything else. And now I'll come out and say, get overlapping actor. And this one will be specific to that chest. So chest, this will be 01. And then which, for anybody, well, this one's asking, does object implement the interface? We're going to say yes. What interface? This one's not the interaction. This one's the interact. So be careful about that. I was not a good example of naming convention today, so sorry about that. And then we want the message for, let's do CO1. CO1, no. All right, I'm terrible. There it is. All right, and then that's the target. So same thing we did before. And then compile and save. And let's get that guy over here. Just the one. Let's save all. All right, so this one, ooh, he's hard. He's huge. Hello. We'll leave him big. We can always scale it down later. I just want to make sure it's functional. And I feel like it's backwards. I don't know. Let me move it out this way. I hope y'all see that draw on here. That's all that fog. So if you can avoid doing a whole bunch of fog on your level, I would do that. That's why my level does this little thing too. So, all right, E to interact. Oh, yep, it was on the wrong side. So, want to be able to do that once, but right now it's functional. We can figure that out later. But that is all. So here's, always want to make sure that I am, you know, walking y'all through the expectations for the assignment. So this is basically, I'm going to mute so you don't hear me. Let me try to set this up to where it makes sense. Let's get the key. I just figured I'd put the key in here. Oh, the problem is I probably should have put it on a different button. We would have to disable that, but that's okay. Because if I hit E, I won't see that I have the key. All right. So for this assignment, we're talking about the counting, right? The widget on the screen. The door's not opening until you have a key, and I'll double check and see which door. My door is still here. And then opening up the two chests. I have to be careful about where things are right now because all of these collision boxes are overlapping. So this is all I expect from the assignment, okay? Did y'all see me mess up? Went straight through. There's no collision on the chest. And then went behind the door. But that's all I need for the assignment, okay? Just show that you got it, all right? Does that make sense?
Understood.
All right. I'm done. My voice is shot. There's a few things that before I open up all of the blueprinting and I post the video up, there's a few things I want to go back and just verify that I have it right for y'all, and then I'll open it up, okay? Because I don't want you waiting until the last minute. Now, Let me do this one more time with the map stuff for anyone not feeling confident at all. If your level is too big, then edit it, please. If you feel like you need to start from scratch, work in an empty level and start building around it. These were some of the shapes, so you can just choose a shape according to your story. Please make sure that you have a story, because the conversational AI is going to be the thing that helps us inform the player as to what they need to do in the level, okay? And that's one reason why I want it to work in here, work in my level as well. So just kind of choose something like this. Mine is similar to this. I do go underground in my level. That's why it's not huge, because I go in an interior space and I go around, but then I go down and I come back around up under that interior space. So do what you need to do. The first assignment, I will work it out. Grade wise, I don't need y'all stressing out. If you're going to stress out about last week's assignment, this week's assignment, but there's no reason for no one to be able to turn something in, even if your level is empty. But know that by the end of the semester, your level should be totally populated, okay? Should not be in white box anything, all right? These and this and this. Oh, that's the last thing I want to show you. They should be for sure textured. Let me show you this. I'm gonna get this item. So I'm just gonna hit the folder and navigate to it. I want to change my door. So my door still rotates. I would probably not do that. I would probably make the door go up. I'm not going to do that because this, what I want to show you is just really about the mesh. And I don't know if you know it or not. So it just makes sense for me to try to show it. So I'm going to click this and go and edit the blueprint. Hello, blueprint. Why are you over there? All right. So I'm going to change the mesh, the door mesh, to the rock mesh. So I'm just going to drag this over here. And of course, it's in the wrong place. So I'm going to detach it. And even if I leave it like that, it needs to be attached to the arrow. My bad. So it's not, it doesn't look pretty at all. So I'm going to bring the texture over. And when I look here, it's okay, but I'm going to rotate it. I didn't mean to hit that. Let me close it. And rotate it. And then I'm going to move it over. And you can see all of that because the mesh is not, I don't think it's double-sided. Let me see if I can give it some depth. You can still see through it. I'm not going to worry about that for now. And that is way too much. All right, I really want it to blend into that wall. All right, so the protruding may bother me. I may move the whole thing back in just a second, but I wanted you to see that and then compile and save. Once you get it set where you want it to be, and I'm about to mess up because I forgot to put it back as a child of the arrow. This should do exactly what the other one did, right? It's just the mesh change. Now, it probably needs collision. So let me go figure out what I've done because I've definitely walked into that space. Give me 1 second. Don't y'all hate it when you're doing a presentation and stuff don't work? Where is my stuff? Input actions. Prints. Nope. Yep. Door. Oh, so it changed all my doors. Oh, okay. So this is a situation where you want 2 different doors. It's almost worth me doing it, but what that means is that I have to take my key and attach it to this door for it to open. Remember, I took the collision, once we overlap, I've got all of the doors of this type door connected to the key. So if you want one that that is not connected to the key, because I was about to get frustrated, then you probably need 2 different doors. That's why it didn't open. So I'm going to get the key this time. And because I have the key, you should have opened. Did it not do it? Oh, what am I? Yeah, I forgot to hit E. Okay, not pretty at all, but you can see how it works. So in my level, I would probably not do that little crazy swing. I would have it really slowly slide this way and make a lot of noise. But after I've spoken to the conversational AI character, I've gathered so many keys, I've beat so many enemies, and they've dropped a key to open this door. Does that make sense to everybody? I'm gonna go back to.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, this was worth making this a separate door, but I'm glad that mistake happened so y'all could see it. All right, woo! I'm done. 2:30, 2:37. Look at that. Bum bum bum. Please do not procrastinate. Remember that on the 22nd, which is what day? That's Thursday. Your first assignment is due. Do not procrastinate. Do it in an empty level and keep it moving. But make sure you have plans to either scale down your current level or to start building up a new one. All right. Do it slowly over time. Do not wait until the last minute, because I will be taking off points as we get to that final assignment. If you still got if your doors haven't been changed and you still got white box, you can't say I didn't have time, because you do. You got at least 13 weeks, 12 weeks now. Okay? Am I clear with everybody?
Yep.
All right. I'm hanging. If y'all are good, I'm gonna stop the recording unless I need to. I'll pause it unless there's a really good question and I want everybody to hear the answer, okay?